Chocolate. This is an ingredient that is beloved all around the world, not only because it's sweet and delicious, but because it's amazing to cook with. It can transform a dish with relative ease and goes both sweet and savory. So today we're looking at 5 chocolate dishes from 5 countries to see how versatile this ingredient really is. And I wanted to do a quick update on the babies for those of you who are interested. The babies are doing well. They are slowly gaining weight. We don't really have an end date in sight for when they can come home from the hospital, but I'm keeping my spirits up. And yeah, I just appreciate all of you reaching out and asking me how I'm doing and how the babies are doing, because we're all doing okay. It's hard, but we're doing okay. But let's get back to the chocolate episode, and we're gonna start with a very surprising dish from Italy.
Hi Beryl, this is Faith Bahadurian, and I'm in Princeton, New Jersey, which is right where I was born, where my father was Armenian and my mother was Italian. The recipe I want to share with you today is Italian, and it is called Melanzane al Cioccolato. It is eggplant with chocolate. And I know that sounds crazy. It did to me too when I came across it doing some research a number of years ago. It wasn't one of my own family recipes, but I gave it a try, and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it.
I think that this dish would have fit perfectly in my eggplant episodes. It is surprising as heck. Chocolate and eggplants, never would have put those two together. Leigh and I were saying this is one of those dishes that you feel like you're getting punked, but the recipe exists on many places online, so I don't think we are. I think we're about to eat a legit chocolate eggplant dish. Gonna be good. Interesting. I don't know. We'll see. One thing that Leia taught me is that condensed unsweetened milk is just evaporated milk. So I don't know why they wouldn't just say evaporated milk, but yeah, condensed unsweetened milk, evaporated milk. Also, you're supposed to shake this well. I did not do that, so I'm just gonna stir it with a spoon. But also, you should shake evaporated milk, which I didn't really think about.
It is much like an eggplant parmesan, only you use a chocolate sauce instead of the tomato sauce, and it is served cold, usually, as a dessert. It is visually stacked presentation, and it's mostly made in the area of the Amalfi Coast, where they have the Ferragosto celebration, which is the end of harvest time in Italy.
So for this recipe, for the chocolate part, we are using unsweetened cocoa powder and dark chocolate, so it's definitely going to be chocolatey. This asks for 7/8 cup of water. It's just a little under a cup, but that's very specific.
And in the Amalfi area, they often garnish this dish with candied citrus peel because they grow a lot of oranges and lemons down there, and they also add nuts.
This is going to be super chocolatey.
I used, I think, some pecans that I had, but I think almonds would be probably more true to tradition.
Ooh, a base of chocolate.
So shiny.
Yeah.
I came across it somewhere online and just did a lot of research and came up with the recipe that I've shared with you today.
What is this gonna taste like?
Give it a try. It's unusual.
What? Chocolate and eggplant, and candied fruit and almonds, and it's served cold. There's a lot of interesting things happening on this plate, so let's just dive right in, shall we? Huh. I need to do a piece that's not covered in candied citrus and nuts because I mostly tasted the candied citrus. All right, let's just do eggplant and chocolate. That's definitely an odd combination. I mean, the thing is, the chocolate flavor is very overpowering, and eggplant is not the strongest tasting vegetable out there, so the chocolate is definitely the first flavor that you get. However, you can still taste the eggplant. And I'm just not sure if eggplant and chocolate go together. This chocolate sauce is delicious though, like really grade A chocolate sauce that we made here. It's creamy, chocolatey, sweet, but not too sweet. One of the things that I think I would redo if I did this is I think that I cut the eggplant, even though it said to thinly slice it, I think it would have done well to be a little bit thicker, only because it absorbed a lot of oil and it's very soft and soggy, which I'm not sure if that's like what we are aiming for. I really want to like this because it's so interesting and off the beaten path, but I don't really know if it's for me. I definitely think that this dish is surprising. I'm gonna put this in the category of like the hot cucumber salad that I made from Germany on this channel as well, just being like, what is this and where did it come from? I would also put it in the realm of the Turkish chicken pudding that we made. However, that one, you know, I didn't really taste the chicken, it just tasted like pudding. With this, you can taste the eggplant, so there is that like interesting flavor balance. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that I tried this. I'm glad that I've learned about this, and I hope that you're glad that you learned about it too.
Hi Beryl, my name is Salvador. I live in Texas in the US of A, and the dish I would like to share with you today is mole de pollo, or chicken mole. The word mole derives from the Nahuatl word mole, meaning sauce. Although there are many variations to be found all throughout Mexico, this version contains chocolate, which is my personal favorite. When made from scratch, you will see them use chocolate tablets of Ibarra and Abuelita. Mole often reminds me of good times and family gatherings. Oftentimes, I'm met with many a perplexed and puzzled look on people's faces. A sweet, savory, and spicy chocolate sauce with chicken?
So instead of making mole the traditional way with like 101 ingredients and a lot of time and effort, we're doing it the hacked way with these two things here. And this one has the fermented cacao powder in it, so that's the chocolate that we're using. And you know, I think there's something to be said about making things the traditional way, of course, but there's also something to be said about being able to make something with a hack. And if that's what it's gonna take to make mole at home, that's what it's gonna be. Okay, to open this, lift at 3 points. I guess 1, 2, 3. I don't think I'm doing this very well. This is the better tool, I think. Yep, yes. Okay. It's hard to get it out. Ugh. Come on. Hooray. I just want to say something quickly about the tool that I use. This is a jar spatula, so it's meant to do this job, because a normal spatula is just not gonna get you what you want out of this. I will leave a link to a jar spatula in the description, but this is honestly a great tool to have in your kitchen.
Having grown up eating this dish, I don't find it peculiar at all. It's like a warm hug with its warming spices of cinnamon, clove, and chili peppers, and chocolate. Traditionally, this will be ground into a paste by hand using a tool called an metate. Understandably, not everyone has the time to perform the arduous task of frying up and grinding all of these ingredients into a paste.
So I think so far I've put in about a cup of broth, but it is still really, really thick. So I'm gonna add more. Right now I have a cup and a half, but I'm just gonna go like half a cup at a time until I get to a consistency that is liquidy. Oh yeah, that was like half a cup. Okay, let's try blending it in this again. Okay, we're adding just a little bit more still. That's like another almost half a cup. I think this will do it. Ooh la la. Let's taste it. It's chocolatey, nutty, kind of smoky, a little bit of spice. I think it's pretty good. Definitely different. I've never had anything like this.
So for convenience, I typically will use a mixture of the La Costeña and Doña Maria brand, which can be found in the Hispanic aisles of most grocery stores, to balance out the spicy and savory flavor profile and the rich chocolatey sweetness.
I kind of messed up, I read the recipe wrong. I needed to put the mole sauce in first, add the broth to get it thinner because I couldn't get it thin enough in the blender, and then added the chicken. I did that in reverse. So I'm just gonna pull out the chicken. I think it's fine. It's just like a little saucy. Well, it's very saucy. Oh well.
To accompany this, we will pair with Mexican rice and, most unusually in our household, mashed potatoes to balance out the richness of the dish. One interesting tidbit: prior to the Spanish arrival into the New World, the dish would have been made using guajolote, the Náhuatl word for pavo or turkey in Spanish, as they were endemic to the region before chickens were brought over to the Americas. To me, this dish perfectly embodies the rich, complex, and varied cultural exchange and history of Mexico.
I'm wearing my chocolate colored shirt for the chocolate episode. Twinning, I do think there will be people in the comments who are gonna be like, oh, you had to make mole the traditional way, but like that's kind of crazy. And I think most people won't be doing that. That's something that you leave for a restaurant to do, or like your grandma who has her very special recipe that she makes for you once a year. But if this tastes good, there's a way to have mole any day much easier. Cheers. It's so interesting because it is chocolatey and it is spicy and it's got like this nutty flavor to it. It's quite complex considering this came from 2 jars. There's a softness to the flavor of chicken that just balances well with the bright and bold flavors of the mole. I think in America it's important to learn about Mexican food outside of Tex-Mex food because so often people equate Mexican food with only tacos or burritos or quesadillas, but there's so much more to Mexican cuisine. I did a whole video where I ordered Mexican food and had Mexican people help me to figure out like what we should be ordering that aren't those typical Tex-Mex dishes. And I learned a lot in that episode. And I think mole is one of those dishes that is interesting enough to get people like into it and then tastes good enough to keep people there. Chocolatey.
Really?
Yeah. Smell it.
Oh, whoa.
It's very easy to eat. I love the chocolate flavor. I think it's a lot stronger than I assumed it would be. I don't tend to think about chocolate and savory dishes, and yet this works so perfectly. I'm glad we got to include this in the episode. I knew that I wanted mole in the show, but I also knew that I was not going to make it entirely from scratch. It's just crazy. So I'm glad that we figured out a way that had like a workaround that makes it more accessible to people. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the 2 jars that I used for the moles. And that way, if you wanna try to make it at home too, you can because it was on Amazon.
Hi Beryl and hello everyone. I am Amrutha. I am from Kerala, India. The dish I want to talk to you all about today is called a chocolate cheese sandwich, and it is exactly as it sounds. It is a grilled sandwich with both chocolate and cheese. I was introduced to this dish during my graduation days in Pune.
So I'm supposed to butter both sides of the bread, but my butter is a little too hard and I feel like I'm just gonna tear the bread. So I'm going to melt the butter in the pan and put the bread in that way, which I think is a good compromise. The chocolate for this grilled chocolate and cheese sandwich that we're using is 70% dark chocolate because we don't want it to be too sweet. So it makes sense that we're using dark chocolate. It always feels like Charlie in the Chocolate Factory, you're right.
A friend of mine who's a localite of Pune city had taken me out to try out the local street foods of Pune.
Chocolate fingers, unlike salad fingers. Leia said more chocolate, so more chocolate going on. That's all of it. Is that enough, Leia?
It'll do.
Outside Ferguson College, there was this little stall that served Maggie and few grilled sandwiches, and chocolate cheese sandwich was one of their specialities. Although it sounded odd to me at first, I took a leap of faith and tried it, and in the first bite I was really blown away by the odd combination that really worked together. It is exactly as it sounds. You just put some grated chocolate, grated cheese together.
Whew! Oh, it looks so good.
And some butter, grill it to perfection and have it. Although I have tried to replicate it several times, it doesn't quite taste as same as the one I have had outside that little stall in Pune. But it holds a very special place in my heart, and I hope all of you really enjoy having it. Thank you so much.
This sandwich is super interesting because it reminds me of roti bandung from Indonesia that I made way back in the day for one of my first toast episodes. It is also processed cheddar cheese, chocolate, only that one also has condensed milk on it. But I'll leave a link to that video in the description if you want to go back and watch some toast episodes. But this is chocolatey and I'm excited. It's so good. The cheese and chocolate has like coated my mouth and it's everywhere. Chocolate and cheese is a really interesting combination, but having it on toast for me, it's just next level. I just think that it melts together so well. I've been to India a handful of times, no more than a handful of times. I've been to India 2 handfuls of times. I've never had this there, but I know that amul cheese is super, super popular and chocolate is chocolate. And I've never had this out there, but I'm definitely gonna make it the next time I go because I think my mother-in-law would be down with it. She loves chocolate. Actually, I can make this for her when she comes here in April because she's gonna come to help with the babies. So I'll make it for her then and we'll see what she thinks. If you're not a fan of dark chocolate, I do think you could get away with using milk chocolate. I think it'll just be a lot sweeter of a sandwich. Also, the trick to a good grilled cheese or like a good crusty melt on this is low heat and covering it because then everything gets really melty. And the slow cooking on low heat helps make sure that it doesn't burn, but the bread gets nice and crispy and golden. Also, butter is key. You need a little bit more than you might be comfortable with, but it definitely like ends up being the right thing to do. Chocolate and cheese toasty bread. I'm gonna give this a 10 out of 10. It's really good.
Hi, my name's Oriana. I'm English and Colombian, and the recipe I'd like to share with you is a drink from Colombia, Cioccolato con Queso, or hot chocolate with cheese. It's a frothy, warming cup of hot chocolate that's different from the sweetened hot chocolate that is now enjoyed around the world. Cacao drinks have been drunk by indigenous people in Central and South America for thousands of years, but this version comes with a twist. It comes from the colder regions of Colombia like Bogota and the Andean areas.
Just have to test this to make sure it's not poison. Not poison.
Because I didn't grow up in Colombia, trying typical dishes and recipes like chocolate con queso always felt like a really special moment to sort of be in touch with that part of my culture.
Oh, wow, that's not what I expected. Chiclets. For some reason, I don't know what I expected, but also a lot of them are broken. So there's that. It smells like chocolate and cinnamon and cloves. And there's like a sweetness of sugar as well. It smells pretty nice. I think this is gonna be a really interesting take on a hot chocolate because there's so many extra flavors instead of just like milk and cocoa. It's gonna be good, I think. Plus cheese.
Traditionally, this hot chocolate is made with solid bars of 70 to 100% dark chocolate, and it's flavored with cinnamon and cloves. So it's usually made with water, and at the end you add your chunks of cheese. So the cheese typically used with this is called Queso campesino. So it's like a really fresh, mild, slightly acidic, sweet flavored cheese that comes from the rural areas.
So I gave it a little taste just to check for balance and everything, and I'm gonna add another bar of chocolate. I just didn't feel like it was chocolatey enough. When you make hot chocolate with water, I feel like it's missing a little bit of something, so adding more chocolate feels like the right thing to do. Plus, it's a chocolate episode. Make it chocolate. It says to make it frothy, so I'm trying to make it frothy.
But outside of Colombia, you could use another kind of mild cheese that keeps its form when melted, like halloumi or mozzarella. So this drink is typically had at breakfast with other staples like arepa or pan de bono. It might sound strange to people who've never heard of it before, but I really recommend giving it a try. The Colombian typical chocolate you use with the hot chocolate, like the solid bars, it has a really different flavor to what you might be used to. This kind of melted cheese just really goes well with it. It's that kind of perfect sweet salty combo.
Hot chocolate with cheese, which is pretty close to the Indian sandwich we did of chocolate and cheese, just in a different vessel, you know? Cup, bread. I think what we're learning is that chocolate and cheese go well together. I'm gonna have like them together here. Hot. Oh my God, that was so hot. Ow. I thought that, I got fooled because this is a double insulated glass, so I wasn't feeling the heat. That was boiling not too long ago. Yum, I definitely put the right amount of chocolate in this to get it extra chocolatey. That was 1.5 cups of water and 2 bars of chocolate. And I added a little bit of brown sugar at the end to round it out for a little extra sweetness. The cheese is really good, but it's not as melted as I thought it would be. I think it's because we used fresh mozzarella cheese instead of that Pollo dry mozzarella cheese, if you know what I mean. I think that one would have melted better, but this one tastes better. So it's really about what you're going for, melty cheese or better tasting fresh cheese. Like when I'm eating it, it's so soft. And there's a nice little bit of saltiness from the cheese that pairs really well with the chocolate. We all know that chocolate and salt go really well together, so it doesn't surprise me that chocolate and cheese is a good pairing. I did realize that I've made this once before on the show for my rainy day episode like 1,000,000 years ago from Puerto Rico. So Colombia and Puerto Rico have this dish in common, which is fun. I'm curious if there are any other countries out there who do this because it's a good combo, and if we already found 2, maybe there's a 3rd. Oh, it's still so hot. Oh, why do I not blow on it? My tongue is officially burned. It was worth it in a way though, but like not worth it in a way because a burned tongue is not fun. I think what's nice about this hot chocolate is that it's not just chocolate. There's also the flavors of clove and cinnamon that you got in the chocolate. So it's got a really nice flavor that's a lot more complicated or a lot more mature than just plain hot chocolate. I bought this chocolate on Amazon and I will leave a link to it in the description if you want to try it at home. If you're somebody who likes hot chocolate, I think you should definitely try this out. It's an easy thing to make at home. It's really delicious. It's fun. It's interesting. It's different. And I like it. Still hot. Still hot.
Hi Beryl, my name is Elise and I'm from Bryne in Norway. The dish I'd like to share is called Dronning Mauds Fromasj. Now for any French speakers out there, the Norwegian word Fromasj has nothing to do with cheese at all, but is used for a kind of Bavarian cream or mousse.
It's a weird sound. Doesn't smell like anything. It's like shards of glass. 1, 2.
You might translate it as Queen Maud Bavarian cream or Queen Maud mousse.
I have never worked with gelatin before, but what I do know about it is that you have to use the right ratios because you can over gelatin something and under gelatin something where it won't come together or where it becomes like really stodgy. And for this, I have no idea about the measurements because it just says 5 sheets of gelatin and who knows if every sheet is the same. So this is going to be a game of crossing our fingers and hoping that we do it right because I really don't know, but hopefully.
Now the reason this dessert is connected to Haugesund and Queen Maud has to do with the history of my country. In 1905, Norway regained its independence after having been under the rule of Denmark and later Sweden. We got a new king and queen that same year, King Håkon VII and Queen Maud. And the year after, in 1906, they went on a coronation expedition all across Norway. When they reached Haugesund, they were presented with this exact dessert, and it was subsequently named after Queen Maud in honor of their visit.
All right, stiff peaks, baby.
This dessert is a layered dessert, kind of reminiscent of a parfait. It consists of grated baking chocolate and a sweetened mousse or Bavarian cream. This is then layered with the chocolate into a large serving bowl or individual glasses according to your preference.
This is a dish that is requiring an obscene amount of bowls. I've already used 1, 2, 3. I'm about to use a 4th. And I was thinking about like when you were making this dish back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and you didn't have a KitchenAid 9-speed mixer, absolutely not. Like, no. And if you don't have it today, don't try to make this dish because it's just about whipping stuff into other stuff and it would just be exhausting to try to make on your own.
The reason why I like this dessert is because of its lightness despite it being quite rich. It also has very decadent yet comforting flavors. This dish uses baking chocolate, which complements the cream in a way that doesn't make it as sickly, but adds another dimension to it and keeps it varied in flavor as well as texture.
So I think that maybe I did use too much gelatin because in mixing this, it's still like a little bit chunky, the gelatin egg mixture with the sugar. I've incorporated it, but it's not as smooth as I would like it to be. I haven't tasted this yet, obviously, but that's just my gut reaction is that the gelatin, I used too much gelatin, which I thought that I might do. Let's sigh. So for this, the photo that I'm going off of has a layer of chocolate on the bottom, and we have our extra delicious chocolate sauce from the eggplant chocolate dish. I remember I said the chocolate sauce was amazing. This chocolate sauce is delicious though, like really grade A chocolate sauce that we made here. So we're gonna reuse it for this, and I think it's gonna be really nice because the baking chocolate's gonna be a little bit bitter, this is a little bit sweeter, and then we have the kind of whipped cream pudding mixture that I over gelatinized to go in the middle.
This dish is mostly enjoyed across Western Norway, according to Wikipedia, although this has been printed in nationwide magazines over the years and can be found on various websites. So why should people try Dronning Maud Fromasj? First of all, this dessert is utterly gorgeous, so that should be reason enough to try it. However, the ingredients should also be fairly easy to get hold of. But lastly, if you fancy a tasty trip back in time to 1906 Norway, you know what to do.
I feel like this looks so pretty. I'm so glad that we put the chocolate layer on the bottom to add a little more chocolate to the chocolate episode. I'm curious about the cream because I kind of messed it up, but I mean, it's delicious. It kind of just tastes like whipped cream and chocolate to me. I'll have just the cream. There's a bit of a custardy texture to it, but it's definitely not a full-on custard. I mean, we put in a lot of whipped cream, and so the whipped cream is definitely taking over. It's not too sweet, which I really like. The more I eat it, the more I like it, and I'm not bothered that it's very heavy on the whipped cream flavor. I think it's because the chocolate does a good job with it, and it's just, like I said, so fluffy and light. It's making my lips feel very soft and silky from all the cream in this. Okay. It's like a pillow, or like eating a cloud. One interesting thing that I learned about baking chocolate is that it has no sugar in it, so the chocolate that we sprinkled on top is just like bitter. And it does a really good job because you have the sweetness of the cream and the sweetness of the chocolate on the bottom. It's a nice balance. It doesn't feel overly sweet, but it feels heavy on the chocolate flavor. And I feel like that's a perfect ending for the chocolate episode, a beautiful chocolate dessert. We started out with, you know, a chocolate dessert perhaps with the eggplant, but we ended with something a little more typical. Don't forget that all the recipes are on my website, beryl.nyc, and like and subscribe, it helps support the channel. I am working ahead because I'm gonna be taking time off for maternity leave, so you see a lot of requests come down in the post section of my YouTube page. So if you wanna be in an episode, always check out there because we're always putting up new requests for episodes. And if you do submit, check your spam because sometimes emails from me go into people's spam folders, so you never know. Until next time, I'm leaving you with a cookie episode and a baking episode because chocolate just kind of fits perfectly into both of those universes, and I will see you all next week. Cheers.